we're so quick to throw everybody under the bus and forget about their accomplishments and just throw them the away, that's what's gonna end up killing our culture. You know, how are we gonna have anybody else in the history books if, at this rate, Malcolm and Martin will be the last two. There won't be no other black man in the history books that people can laud or people can applaud or people can love because they've made us our greatest weapon towards each other.
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just ain't real. Real life street stars. You know what time it is. Real life street stars, man. We got a real legend in the building, man. Boston's very own, man. Real legend shit.
It's an honor to be here, man, for real. You know, I've been checking out y'all's platform and y'all doing y'all thing, and the hospitality is just amazing. So, you know, I just want to come down here and hang out with y'all.
Bro, you have a knack for just going viral, just for the things that come out of your mouth. But did you know that you were going to be able to be one of those people that are sought after to just interview, to hear what you have to say?
You know, the whole act of going viral, I guess even before the internet, I was, you know, the act of going viral was just, to me, you know, say what's on your mind, stand on whatever you believe in. And I'm a firm believer in that. You know, I come from the old school, so it's like, I'm very vocal about certain things. I've experienced a lot in my life. So things that I stand on might not click to everybody at the time, but they've clicked in my mind to be something that I have to speak out. And I guess I'm a Cancer, so, you know, we're real emotional. We wear our emotions on our sleeve.
Yeah. Now, our platform is named Real Life Street Stars, right? And
yes, sir.
Our whole thing is we like getting the underground, the people that have a story that didn't get to tell their story. Okay. For Benzino, what does street star mean to you? Like, what is a street star in your opinion?
See, that's what Benzino is. That's what, you know, I came from a my father, and I always started out with him because that's where it starts off. He was in the streets heavy, and I started doing street activities at an early age because of him. And I don't say that in a negative way, but that was the environment and that was the life that I lived. You know, I came out the house probably about 12, 13 years old and just, you know, hit the streets, started, you know, of course, I'm going to school. My mother loved her to death, so I didn't want to disappoint her. So I'm balancing going to school because I have to go to school because that's what my mother says, and my father. My father's in and out of jail, but I'm doing things for him at an early age. Grew up in projects where, you know, that's in the 70s. See, it's different. You know, I grew up really in the 70s. I came out the house in the 70s. You know, I'm 59 now, so I'll be.
About 70s in Boston?
Yeah.
Ooh, what was that like? Ooh.
Boston in the 70s was a different place because, like, it was segregated, of course, like most places, like most cities were. But Boston, you know, Boston is old city, old values. You know, that's where Plymouth Rock is. Remember when Malcolm X said, you know, we didn't land on Plymouth Rock landed on us. Yeah. That motherfucking rock is still there. Nasty ass rock is still there, right? So as kids, they would take us field trips to go see that rock. Now the rock got graffiti on it, there's all kind of shit on it, and the rock got smaller. But it just goes to show you that Boston's where it all started from. Like racism really started right there, like colonialism started there. Quincy, Braintree, Boston were the first towns of America before the 13 colonies. Like that's where everything started right there. So you gotta understand, that is their territory. You know, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, Irish people, Italians, Jewish. Black people really always took a back seat. So growing up, it was segregated, a lot of projects, a lot of street shit. But then you have to deal with all that, a lot of drugs, but then you gotta deal with white people crossing boundaries. If you're in some parts of somewhere, you risk getting up, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was up. And you know, the boundaries, Dorchester's right there next to Roxbury, and Columbia Point Projects is right next to South Boston, and you know, East Boston's downtown, which downtown couldn't be neutral. Like, black people had to stay at the South End, Roxbury. Little 15, maybe 10-mile radius back then. It expanded, but it was up because I grew up in schools beefing with white people and getting chased by white people.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, what was like one of the most racist things you've ever experienced?
Oh man, a bunch of them. Like, let me tell you. So most of the time, what people gotta understand is when you're watching something on civil rights, it's usually in black and white, right? When you watch an old video about a whole bunch of people, white going against black, it's usually in black and white, right? If you look in Boston, it's in color. Like, the busing started, it was the busing where they was trying to get kids out of the inner cities to get them to go to, a couple of black kids, just a couple, not a bunch, just, we want them to experience some good schools, because we know the schools in Boston, in the city, are up. So they would ship a couple of kids out there, and not just the school and not just a couple of people, the whole city, town would come out, thousands of people, and throw stones at the bus and try to turn the bus over. And we talking little kids sticking up their middle fingers, 6, 7, 8 years old, grown ass old ladies, get them the out of here, we don't want them in our, we're talking 3 or 4 kids coming off a school bus to go into a school in their neighborhood, and to the point where they had to get police escorts. So this was going on in the 70s, right? You know, so you grow up with this sense of like, this is crazy. You grow up with a sense of like, man, white people are against you. And I grew up with that because wasn't no white people in any projects we lived in. We probably started out in 2 or 3 of them before we moved into a second floor of a house, it was a nice house, but it was still in the hood. So, you know, I grew up. If it wasn't later on in life for my father introducing me to his guys, you know, like Italian guys, older men, Irish guys, men that he had did time in the feds with or he's doing business with. And these guys were like serious men, you know, these were serious men. If it wasn't for me to meet them, I would have thought all white people were bad. You know, at working with him and working with them over the years, and then, you know, dealing with them and their families, you start learning, even though it's coming from a criminal aspect because we was doing criminal activities, but you still, at least it didn't make me like, all white people are bad, because I grew up thinking that, because every time you turn around, you know what I'm saying, you fighting somebody who's white. I got, my first year of high school, I went to Boston Tech. My first semester, I kicked out, because there was a racial beef, a bunch of white kids. I had got stabbed. We had 2 like riots with them and shit. One of them I got stabbed. They kicked me and like 7 other guys out. And they kicked a bunch of white guys out. We went to Boston Tech. You had to take a test to get in there. And I ended up getting kicked out. My mother was pissed. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I got stabbed over, you know what I'm saying? Like on the bus. Like the first time we was beefing with them, the second day they came with knives and shit. And mind you, you know, you got to understand, like, it's segregated. Black, like, okay, Boston's not that big, but, you know, everybody, South Boston's Irish, East Boston and North End is Italian, Roxbury, South End, black, and you did not cross the borders. If everybody would see each other downtown where the stores was, and that's where the fights would take place, so the chases would take place. If we seen a white dude out of bounds in our spot, we'd stomp him out. If there was a black dude in there, he gets stomped the out. And I grew up with that probably my entire life in Boston.
That's crazy. So we're gonna be bouncing around a lot of this interview.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, so we're gonna take it to, gotta go to Diddy first. Right. Have you ever been to a Diddy party?
I went to one Diddy party, but it was in Manhattan. It wasn't at his crib. It was in Manhattan. He had rented a hall or whatever, and I was there. It's crazy because there was a couple of well-known women, and they was arguing. It was almost like some real life Love and Hip Hop shit I was going through, but I can't even mention. I ain't gonna mention their names. I'm gonna save it for my book. But they were arguing situation with me. They was arguing with each other. I think they was about to beef, but I just remember Diddy coming by. He never really, me and Diddy's relationship. First of all, right, since we're on them, I just want to we just got to go through a timeline of who Diddy is. So, and what he's accomplished. And then I can give my opinions and everything else. But before I give my opinions on that, which a lot of people like to talk about, I want to set up the timeline of what Diddy did before we knew about all this, right? So Diddy started Howard, intern, and then he went over to Uptown Records. He helped with Mary J. Blige and Heavy D, then he big time promoter in New York. Went on to do Bad Boy, broke many, 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 many artists. Sold sold a lot of music. Fashion-wise, really was one of the moguls in fashion as far as getting his stuff in department stores. Reality TV, he killed that. There's not gonna be too many men that's done what Diddy's done in our culture, all right? All the years that he did it in. In that time, he's employed a lot of people, right?
Right.
Ciroc came and just blew out the water, employed more people. One thing I do know as a person, when I had a situation like that and when I had money like that and I had power like that, is that it's not easy for a black man from the streets, right? And not that I'm saying Diddy's from the streets or maybe the same, but he's from that. His father, he's still from that. My father, we're from that.
Right.
It's not too many black men that's gonna be able to accomplish that in this country.
Yeah, that's
all right.
facts.
And especially moving forward the way things are. So things went wrong, and we'll get to that, but I just want to just kind of stay there a second of the accomplishments. And not just the accomplishments, but all the people that he's employed. Because, in this business, yes, contracts, it's a dirty business. Lawyers, contracts, things get f***ed up, publishing. That's all of us across the board, right? No one's hardly ever happy with the label ever. The happiest when the label give them money towards the end when shit ain't cracking, it's the telltale story, right? From every artist, right? But, you gotta look at all the hundreds of people he's employed and put on. If it's so easy, and I know there's a lot of artists that personally I've dealt with in business-wise, and it's not for me to say how they feel because it's not fair because they've actually business-wise dealt. If they said that Diddy jerked them in publishing, then that's up to them to say. But what I can say is that that as an artist, right, you know in your head, you're only as good as you are rapping. Business-wise, most artists don't know what to do, right? And when you're dealing with people, most of the time you're coming with nothing but your rhymes, right? That's it. Mm-hmm. So when people invest money, time, effort, emotions, stress, everything into you, you know what I'm saying? That part has to be accounted for something. And I'm just saying that a lot of people who you just have to look at, like a lot of bad stories come out about a lot of artists. Like you hear them about Diddy, Suge, Irv, Birdman. You hear anybody who's a mogul, anybody who had multiple artists, you're always gonna hear, there's always in common, there's gonna be somebody problems with it, right? Mm-hmm. It's just the nature of the business. So all them artists though wouldn't have got on or as big as they did without a certain person. You can best believe every artist that's been through Diddy has had another manager or another way that they tried to do it and didn't even come close to the stardom and everything as they did when they got with Diddy or with Suge or with Birdman or with Irv or with any of the big moguls, right? Of course, at the ending story, it's not gonna work out for them because they're the artist and they didn't have the business acumen in the first place to understand it. I'm not saying that, and I'm gonna go to the current stuff, but I just want to make it clear if I'm gonna get the platform right now, is that, man, we're so quick to throw everybody under the bus and forget about their accomplishments and just throw them the away, that's what's gonna end up killing our culture. You know, how are we gonna have anybody else in the history books if, at this rate, Malcolm and Martin will be the last two. There won't be no other black man in the history books that people can laud or people can applaud or people can love because they've made us our greatest weapon towards each other. So now, speed it up to now. I'm thinking Diddy got a problem, man. Diddy has some type of, what happened or didn't happen, I'm not there to say, so it's I don't speak on that. But I would just think based on everything, he has some type of sexual
Right. How was he when you met him? Did he?
Real quiet. When he came to me, I think he gave me a blunt of weed, a spliff of weed, and he didn't even say nothing and kept it moving. He just, I don't know.
Could you see this happening at all? That when you see
yeah, of course, yeah. I couldn't see all this happening because the music industry is usually a safe place for this type of shit. Look, all this sexual shit, the internet is exposing shit. It's the reason of the internet. If the internet wasn't never around, the internet's the gift and the curve. If social media wasn't around, then this has been going on since the industry has happened. Not just the music industry, Hollywood. Right. You know what I'm saying? People want to be on TV and in the music business so bad that they'll do anything. They'll give their bodies, they'll do anything. That's where selling your soul is. So, you know, unfortunately, people take advantage of that. Women get taken advantage of. Men get taken advantage of. That's the nature of the business.
Why do you think we put so much of our judgment on the individual who offered the opportunity? No matter what you were willing to give, I gave you that in exchange for what you were willing to give. I still gave you that opportunity. Why do we put so much judgment on the person who offered the opportunity, you think? Because
black people, man, we're mad. Even if we try to act like we're not, like, you know, we're in a up situation, man. We've been, and it's taking tolls on people's minds. And then here comes social media that is conditioning the out of people when they're seeing everybody else doing good and they're not. It just them up in the head, man. It breeds a lot of different negative feelings. And I just think like, it's just, you know, I watched R. Kelly, do you know how, like the music and everything, and then, yes, I understand. Because people are quick to, oh my God, he's sticking up. No. Anybody that with underage kids needs to be dealt with. Okay? The punishment, we live in a land of laws. They deal with that. So I don't stick up or I don't co-sign, none of that. But, you know, how do you 20, 30 years rock with somebody so hard, whereas that they come in your life every day? Music is so important to us. And for black people, it seems like music and TV and everything is really important to us. So if it's really that important to us, where you're focused in on it so much, why are you quick to just throw away the people that gave it to you all them years? And I understand because of what people did. God gives everybody other chances, and if people, I'm not in the church, but I got common sense to know that part, that God gives people other chances and no one should be able to judge. I know at least that part. So if that's the case, then we got to stop doing it to each other.
We do, but okay, let me ask you this, right? Because you had a platform the biggest platform, right? We have a platform. People always try to, send us. So did nobody ever send you certain things on Diddy and make you be like, some of the shit that he's doing wrong? Because people like us, right? The general people are looking like how he beat Cassie on that videotape. They're like, people got to be complicit in this. This didn't just come out of nowhere. He beat her in a hotel.
Again, well, when you're an older nigga like me, you've seen that shit your whole life, and it's not saying it's right. In the 70s, that was a regular day. You know what I'm saying? So like in the 80s, that was seeing that shit all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, as a young kid, I never liked men beating on women. That always made me feel uncomfortable and nervous when I'd seen that. My father never did it to my mother. God bless. My mother's first husband did it to her, you know. But from what I have seen, that was a regular thing. So, you know, I can't listen. Again, people have to condition their mind that our minds ain't the same with the internet now as it was before it was. Our minds, we have to condition ourselves to what's coming now, because one situation you seeing, then you should condemn that man for the rest of his life. Now, if it wasn't the internet, then nobody would see nothing. And nobody would be getting condemned. You know what I'm saying? And the privacy would be within themselves to work it out within themselves. Right now, we're in front of millions of people every day being judged by millions. That's not how humanity was supposed to be. God didn't make this earth for everybody to be in tune with each other, millions. It's impossible. Be in tune with who's in front of your face. Let's get back to that. Because this shit here, if it don't take a blind man to see that people are losing it, are cooked from social media. That's happening. See, I'm a nigga that was here before it. The shit that's happening, this is almost like real talk, and I'm not just trying to hype this up. It's almost like I'm living in a different type of time, or a different planet, or it ain't the same.
Do you think that we should separate the man from the artist? Because like you said, someone may do something that we find distasteful or displeasing. Should we throw away their catalog, all their music, all their accomplishments? Because it became a big thing when R. Kelly, we're gonna stop listening to R. Kelly's music because now he's in prison for these things. Do you think we should separate those things?
First of all, I think the beauty of music was always, the greatness of music was that the artist could express himself through the music, and it got to the audience musically. And then they pulled out of it what they want. Social media has f***ed up music in so many ways, right? Images like what you see on YouTube with young niggas with guns, and like you see the images now, and women showing everything. Like our images, the images in our environment are conditioning our mind to just lust after these things, and it's a powerful energy that's just all you want. These young kids, this is all they want to do. Their minds haven't even in their 20s, their minds haven't even developed to understand anything else. And if the only images they're getting is guns, sex, drugs, and low bass, then man, by the time they reach 30s, it's not gonna look good. It's not gonna look good. You know what I'm saying? Like we're in an emergency mode that we don't even know it. Like the black culture, we need help right now.
You know, I see a lot of people who are, more so disappointed in the actions of like people like Puff or R. Kelly, or because they wanted to be like them. Why do you think we just want, like we see these individuals and we want to be them so bad and we want to attain what they have? Like,
but who doesn't want
lifestyle?
That? As black people that was just 400 years ago, and slaves been picking cotton for nothing, getting beat and raped and for nothing. Who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want to see a black man at his top employing other black men and women, and having a good time doing it? When you're looking at Puff looked like he's never worked in his life.
For sure.
When you look at Puff, it's just always party, happy, music, let's go, dance, woo. You know what I'm saying? The unfortunate side is hip hop is the streets. Hip hop is the streets. So there's gonna be that street element with it. And you know what I'm saying? Like we're all from the streets at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're gonna run into street activities because the guys around you are in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're gonna run into these things over the years, and money, power, that starts to get to people mentally. It never got to me to the way that it got to, of course, to the situation that he's in. And it's unfortunate, the situation he's in. And I say a prayer for all the victims who, we're gonna see how this plays out. But it's gonna be a bloodbath. Like, it's getting ready to and then after this, right? It'll be another year because this is all people gonna see. When the trial come up, you gotta understand. Puffy made his lawyer tell Harvey and said the lawyer came on and did one interview with Harvey to really say, Puffy's taking a stand. That's all Puff wanted. Puff in there let everybody know I'm taking a stand. And everybody coming at me, watch this shit I'm gonna say. And the feds got tapes since 2009. Diddy got tapes since 93?
Right.
You think you get to do all the stuff and all the business deals that Diddy did by being stupid? Now, granted, he may have some type of sexual problem. That's, to me, at this point, it's obvious. Yeah. That's not no disrespect. That's not trying to be funny. People have sexual problems. Believe it or not, that's a big part of a lot of people's problems. They don't even know it. Like the addictions of sex. And then one's money and drugs and unlimited. And then it's like, you almost had carte blanche, because this is what the music industry is. The music industry to people is music and gossip, and they watch people's lives now. But to the filthy rich, see, the filthy rich, they don't necessarily can't go to the hood and find a plug and find the drugs they want. The filthy rich can't find the chicks they want because, because they just can't risk being out there. They need somebody. Diddy's been the party guy forever.
Yeah, no, facts.
Forever. Now, the music industry, not just Diddy, but the rich and famous, they love coming over to, this is their playground, is the music industry. Because the women singing are the highest trophies. The men rapping are the highest trophies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's other good looking women out there, but they're not her who's selling, who the world is going crazy over. Rich people don't really like women, like this beautiful woman, but to them, they want somebody that the world yearns for. So They want stars. So the music industry now has been exposed because those rich, you don't think, forget about the artist who's on tapes. What about the politicians and the politicians' nieces and nephews and sons and brothers? Because everybody wants to go to a party. Usually when you're the rich and powerful and you're around your family, you want to impress them. I call Diddy right now. You want to go to his party? Boom. And then they done went over there. Now they just want a party. And they over there with the lampshades, probably everything moving.
Right.
Too, and every drug over there going crazy. My father's the senator of the United States. You know what I'm saying? You think that he ain't got that in his pocket?
Yeah. Oh, straight up.
This just isn't gonna be about, you're gonna see some rappers and but at this point, man, it's almost like, is anybody really gonna be super surprised and crazy? I think people's conditioned enough to if somebody's on a tape having gay sex with somebody that I don't think everybody's gonna be fainting at this point. I think at this point, we done seen so much that what's gonna surprise us anymore?
Right. So in your past, you've been at the very top of all this.
Yeah.
Is there any demonic force, Illuminati? Is that a real thing?
Listen, people with billions of dollars get together. That's a real thing. Right, whatever they call it, there's a lot of things. But the Illuminati, the word's been around as long as I can know it, so it must have some type of something with it. Yeah, people with money, people with thoughts, people with desires and lusts, of course. Yeah, to me, that's out there. I remember me and Dave one time, and Dave, if y'all ever get Dave Mays, he can tell the story. Dave Mays, that was my partner for the Source magazine. And you're right, we was on top of the food chain in New York for a minute. For a brief minute, but at least we made it there, right? So there was these people that came and wanted to meet. And I would take some meetings and I would look at motherfuckers and just wouldn't take those meetings and be like, Dave, you tell me first and I'll do the second meeting with them. This time I didn't take this meeting with these people. Something didn't feel right. I just remember come up to the office because I didn't have an office in the source. I'd be all around the country, around the world, come to the office, chill on Dave's couch, smoke, we have a meeting, and I'd be out. One time I walked in and there was, some strange characters in there. You know what I'm saying? Some different type of guys. Was there a woman? It might have been. And I just remember Dave was like, yeah, they wanted blah, blah, blah. And I just was like, yeah, okay. So Dave went out to dinner with him. And I remember Dave, I don't, because there was just a lot of stories, there was a lot of shit. But Dave was some shit that had to do with something of that nature, right? And yeah, you'd have to ask him about that one because he was at the meeting. You know what I'm saying? I just remember I told him we didn't want to deal with them no more because he came back to me and I just remember shutting it down like, nah, that. Back then I was a lot more wild. So I met them and I was, I know me back then. You know what I'm saying? So, but I remember that. I remember. Once you reach a certain tax bracket, they coming. So they're not gonna come if you got a couple of mil. That ain't it, man.
Some people say that once you get to that window, you have to make a certain choice. And depending on the choice you make, it will either propel you to another level or your life will start to change and the success will not be as prevalent as it was.
Yeah, I believe that. And that's why I chose God. And that's why I'm in the situation I'm in now. I'm still out here grinding and I'm proud of it. You know
you look good, nigga. You should grind.
No. Listen, I appreciate it, but I got to stay in shape because the hustle don't stop. And my thing is, when me and Dave fell, we lost everything, right? Got indicted by the feds. We lost everything. We had millions and millions, man. We lost the source, everything. It was almost like it was banished from New York. That was a big thing. All the executives and everything, because a lot of those guys didn't f with me. They had to deal with me, but they didn't f with me. They was nervous, scared. You know what I'm saying? Like the Leo Cohens of the world and Steve Stouts of the world and, the Russell Simmons and these guys, you know what I'm saying? I would deal with these guys, but these guys like to deal with Dave. They didn't like to deal with me. And it was because I didn't have it for the and I wasn't with, like, I've always been for the struggle and for the people, no matter what. And that's because I grew up in Boston. So I was always like, I looked at me being a revolutionist from Boston because I stuck up for black people. The light-skinnest nigga ever. I never even knew my color back then because I always considered myself black. You know what I'm saying? So, but, it's just ill to watch everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had my morals. I was taught well by my father, my mother, and my upbringings to where is that money wasn't everything. Because I always was a hustler, I could always get it. When we lost the source, it was all right. That was like me losing a couple of bricks. I'm gonna get out there and get it again. I gotta get out there and get it hard to get homie the money back. And that's how I felt. We re-up with Hip Hop Weekly. After Hip Hop Weekly, right to reality TV. After reality TV, I'm not gonna stop. I'm a hustler.
How does it feel like when you have these relationships and then you lose a bit of your power, a bit of your status, and then the people that you once had access to, you don't have access to them anymore?
Power to an egotistical might have been something that they miss. But me, it's just, again, I always looked at life like I'm from 4. Anything past me making it past 25 was just a God-given bonus, and I appreciate, now I do. When you get older, you start seeing life through a whole different lens. I appreciate shit now. Do you understand the shit that I've been through? That I should have been dead many, many, many times, and it's like, or locked the up forever. So it's like, damn, like all my niggas that are dead, close people. I got 4 on my arm and probably know another 100. You know what I'm saying? Like, you start valuing shit different making it to 59 years old. Who the f would have knew? But, I always was for the people. I never looked at myself as like, I still find it hard to believe a celebrity. When people see me in the airport and shit, and they be like, Benzino, it's my people. It's people from the hood and the struggle, and they smile, and what's doper than that? That's what keep me going, even not having the money I had before, not even close. But money don't, and I'm telling you, I'm saying this is the truth. Money is meant to be made and spent. I used to get whatever I had, heroin, coke, weed, I'm gonna take that shit to the block. The first profit, I'm gonna go f it off, go buy me some shit. And, you know what I'm saying? Then bring the plug his, and I might come back a little short, but I'm gonna get another just to go back at it. That's how I was at a young age. So it kind of, and I'm not saying that was good because I mismanaged money like crazy. I off money, but I also was Robin Hood. I gave away a lot. I bought people a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not just little, like ridiculous shit. So, you know, and I would do it again, man. But this time I'm older and I know how to manage money better. Like, whatever I had, I spent it on people, and I kept it moving. Even when I had millions, if I had 5,000, I'm gonna go break that 5,000. Tomorrow I'm gonna go get another one. If I have 5 million, I'm gonna go break this 5 million. We're gonna get some more. That's just what it was.
So of course we all know this source was huge. Who didn't want to be on the cover? Who didn't want to be in business? What's one of the craziest things you were ever offered in exchange for business, or in exchange for being on the cover, or exchange for that connection with you and the company?
Well, well, before I say this, I'm in a relationship now and I love my girl deeply. Ashley, I love you. We're gonna get married. But back then, right, pre-Ashley, you know, being the position I was, you know, of course, female artists, rappers, of course they're looking at me like, what's up with Zeno? You know, what's up with, and then me, you know, one thing about me, and I got from my father, like if I'm dating you, if I'm with you, I'm just gonna pour everything into you. So you know what I'm saying? You might get a cover, might get a diamond. I flew Jacob one time, well-known rapper. Y'all know her well. Everybody in this room know her well. I flew him in there on her birthday and put a diamond chain around her neck in her city. Like, I used to do it big, and you know, I threw some covers, threw some hosted the Source Awards. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, not because they didn't deserve it, because obviously they had to be big enough to do it, because it would look crazy if I'm just doing it with somebody who doesn't, like, people can't, but they were big enough. It just all worked out. It just all worked out where we would date, and you know what I'm saying? You know, that's why, like, when Love and Hip Hop came, I was like, yo, I was private with my shit because nobody knew, like I've dated a bunch of celebrities that y'all'd be like, but I don't kiss and tell, you know what I'm saying? Let's till my book come out.
Are the celebrities overrated?
Are the celebrities what?
The celebrity women, are they overrated?
Are they overrated?
Yeah.
No, hell no. These are the these are the ones. These are the ones.
Right.
These are the ones that y'all grew up loving. Yeah. You know, yeah, hell yeah, definitely.
But I do gotta ask, because I did watch the reality TV show and I watched it all play out. And then later on down the line, you see, you know, the whole child support situation, right?
Ooh,
I was just gonna ask you, does something need to be done about child support in general, and how much money people is paying? I think Kanye $200,000 a month.
Bro, child support. Like, I hope. Like, I don't know. Did Trump say anything about changing?
I was hoping.
Has he said anything about changing child support?
We haven't heard that yet.
Nah.
Yeah, not yet.
If Trump said that he was gonna abolish child support,
he would have had the whole
he would have had my vote.
Okay.
I don't give a
Right.
I don't give a what anybody say.
Right.
I'd have been MAGA hat, MAGA sweatsuit, the gold ass. Man, I would have been what? But child support's up, bro. Like, child support. But again, not just child support. There is a system set in place to us up, and child support is one
One of them, for sure.
I got 3 child's mother whom I thank dearly for bringing me my beautiful children. You have to put all these things on this because you don't want to disrespect anybody, because they still are the mothers of my child. And without them, I couldn't have my children. But,
Right.
but they f your life up when they take you to court. Because it's not just about giving money. You're giving it through the system. You have to go through the system. So when you don't do something right, they locking your ass up.
Right. And they taking money off top as well.
It's not fair. See,
You get a new job, they hit that, boy, they go crazy.
it's not, but then they overcharge you, and you
Exactly.
can't get a
You
modification
can't get it
until about a year or two.
Right.
Like I could tell you more, but I don't want to go through it, man, because you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm still going through, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, like, you know, my dad was on child support for my older stepbrothers and sisters. I remember for Mikey, Eddie, and Ricky, he owed a lot, but they ended up dropping it. But it was like, they're 50 something and the child support thing was still coming in. Like, no, that's just up. It's not right. It needs to be overhauled. Something needs to be done.
And that's what the question I had was, what if you could, what would you do to it?
I would just do like this, right? Okay. There has to be an average of every child based on age. 1 to 5, 5 to 10, because you know they eat more as they grow and shit. If it's going to be to 18, right? First of all, I would bring it down to 15. You know, would it be 18? He's a grown ass goddamn man. He got a kid by himself. He has a kid. The fuck? How the fuck am I paying? And you know what I'm saying? So I would lower it to about 14-ish. Let's say 14, right? And then I would say, look, 13. Give me 13. I would lower it to 13, and then it would be in spurts on what's needed. It would go, now it would go to the mother, but the mother would be responsible to show what she's done with it. Just like I have to show in, she has to clock in to them what she's done with it. She needs to show receipts for everything that particular money. If it was $1,500, you need to show what it was. You know what I'm saying? If it's $100,000, you need to show what the you doing with this $100,000 that applies to the child. Because if it's child support, doesn't say child and X support. Because if it's child and X support, say so. If it's child support, then whatever the mother spends needs to be a receipt to the court. And they need to be going through it just like they be going through our shit.
Right.
Y'all like that?
Yeah.
And let us file taxes on it.
And let's file taxes on it.
Man, you got a lot of thoughts that be Superman, man.
Y'all like that?
The thoughts, but now the thoughts going.
I love it.
The young, the bopper's gonna be.
First of all, when a young rapper comes to tell me, yo, can you give me some advice, OG, yo, Unc, OG? Yeah, I can give you some advice with your rap crew. You listening? Don't get nobody pregnant.
That's it. You win.
They be like, huh? Don't get nobody pregnant.
Right.
Wait till your late 20s, 30s. You're not missing nothing right now. Just chill out.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Get through your 20s. See if you're stable by then, if you have your own spot, right? Before you bring a child in here. Because our problems start when the child comes. I wasn't ready. Nobody's ready. We're not ready. We love, but we're not ready. We're not financially ready. We're not spiritually ready. We're not emotionally ready. All right? We're not mentally ready at all. But we all do it. It's part of life. But when you think about it as far as what it does and the struggle you got to go through when you don't have shit, and you got to be out there in the streets to hustle to get it, now you can't spend time with your kid. Then later on, it comes back and it bites you in your ass.
Right. Facts.
If you do, you do. If you don't.
Great advice. Back to Diddy. One more thing. Stevie J.
Stevie J, my brother.
How did you? Well, he was very vocal about taking up for Diddy.
Yeah, I mean, Diddy made Stevie who he is.
Right.
Like, listen, again, people got to understand, right? I'm gonna look on the camera. How many of y'all's family did some horrible shit, did some bad shit, or even just made little mistakes, and you've still stuck by a family member? Your father, your brother, your mother, your sister, your cousin, right? Okay. Just because Diddy and Stevie ain't blood, that doesn't mean that the feelings aren't there to stand by him no matter whatever he's going through. There is nothing the matter with that. See, now everybody's worried about being canceled. Everybody's worried about being who's. Yo, stand by your friend no matter what they do. If it's murder, I don't give a fuck what it is. Stand by him because that friend's gonna need you. no matter what, regardless of what happens. It's unfortunate, you know what I'm saying? But that's still supposed to be your friend. That's just me.
That's real shit.
Right.
Too many people that's backing off, you know what I'm saying?
I don't, you know, I haven't talked to Stevie in a minute. You know what I'm saying? I wish him well. I hope everything's all right with him, you know what I'm saying? I just know that him and Diddy had a relationship for years and years. He's got a lot of money with Diddy, you know what I'm saying? They had a lot of business together. I'm sure Diddy has been an amazing influence on his life musically. And they've got some, Stevie's responsible for over 90 million albums sold with his production. That's because of Diddy.
Any wild stories with Stevie J, anything like
Stevie J's a wild boy.
Yeah.
You might as well say what story you don't have. Is
Right.
Like, so I'm saying, so I'm gonna tell this wild. He probably gonna be mad as f, but I love him to death. And whatever, I'm gonna tell him right now on this camera, I love you, my nigga. Call me. You know what I'm saying? Regardless. You know what I mean? So, but it's just some funny shit. Y'all gotta understand, Stevie on Bad Boy was like the black sheep. Me at the Source magazine was like the black sheep.
So y'all click.
There was a point in the 90s, we both had money and we both was wild boys and God made us link up. Why did that happen? We just seen a lot of things eye to eye. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where is that? Everybody else would be like, yo, what, like crashing cars, brand new cars and leaving them like that. Just, you know what I'm saying? Trashing hotel rooms, like $800 a night hotel rooms. You know what I'm saying? Like just wild shit that the industry, you know what I mean? So I remember when I was in Miami and Stevie was single at this point, you know what I'm saying? At this point, you know, this is before the Love and Hip Hop thing. So he was staying with me in Miami and shit. And I think him and Whoopi's daughter was, you know, really friends and shit, you know what I'm saying? Stevie.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg's daughter, yeah. Yeah.
That's random as hell, but okay, I'm following you.
I mean, you wanted the story, right?
No,
You know what I'm saying?
it's already,
Right?
this is already, yeah.
So I
Include
remember
the receipt.
Whoopi's daughter came to him and Whoopi were cool and everything, but then it was like, there was this white chick that really dug him, blonde haired chick, little snow bunny. Excuse me, Dr. Umar, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sorry, doctor.
No Umar, you know what I'm
this one out,
saying?
yeah.
So I remember she liked him, whatever, so, you know what I'm saying? Stevie got the whip one time, she had a Benz truck, G-Wagon, he pulled up on her, yo, what's up? I said, oh, you know what I'm saying, nigga? Now, you know he didn't have no license. Me and Stevie never had a license, man. Me and Stevie, we're notorious for just getting whips and just crashing them and don't have licenses, like we wild. So he posed up, I was like, oh, shit. So I jumped in, we riding and shit, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah. So then I think the next day he probably had the white chick, you know what I'm saying? Like she was bad, like model type shit, beautiful. So next thing you know, a couple days went by, I ain't seen Stevie, no one seen Stevie and shit. We at the studio. So then I forgot, because where we was at was the compound, so when the cars come, you'd have to see us outside. I mean, so the white girl comes over and she's in a ride with somebody, with another chick. She's like, hey, you guys seen Stevie? You know, he hasn't brought the car back. You know, so it's been a few days. I was like, no. So I get the call from Stevie and shit. He's like, yo, come get me, yo. So Stevie is like, on Collins, I go over there, the Benz truck is on cinder blocks, like with no tires and rims on it, right? This nigga done sold the rims off the car, right? So you know what I'm saying?
That boy savage.
Yo. I mean, I know it might be, but you just had to be there, yo. Like I pulled up and the was on blocks and nigga like, I was like, what the I didn't even want to say nothing. I didn't even say to picked it up. We rode out. Like, we got so many behind the scene Love and Hip Hop stories. We got so much like.
Oh, on Love and Hip Hop, yeah.
Man, me and Steve, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's only because we the same, like, we're good dudes. We're givers. Yeah. Stevie's a giver. Stevie, he wants everybody, like when you come in, like if y'all was around, he would, y'all straight, y'all need some food, y'all need some weed, need some drink, whatever, you know what I'm saying? He get it, but he's just a wild boy. Now, back then I was a wild boy, and like we, together, it was just wilder. Everything we did was crazy, off camera.
That's
you know
great.
Yeah.
Now, I gotta ask you this, man. I got a couple source questions, right? So,
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I was finna say.
Ask everything.
I'm finna say.
Yeah, because we got to get it Jaguar-ish in this bitch.
Do you think Diddy had something to do with the Tupac situation? They're trying to pin that on. Now they're trying to say that Diddy had something going on with this situation.
Tupac had beef with a whole coast. You understand what I'm saying? Tupac had beef with a whole coast. Do you know how many thousands of niggas on the East Coast is gonna want it to f with Tupac at that point? So to choose one guy, you know what I'm saying? And there's really no physical evidence. There's no real evidence. It's just conspiracy. Like anybody could say that because they had beef. But do you know how much beef, how many niggas Pac had beef with? You know, and that's one thing about having beef with multiple niggas. You ain't gonna know who the did it. And that's really what happened at this point. You know, I mean, look, you know that the whole situation in Vegas when they had stomped dude out, right? Do you think that if they didn't stomp dude out, you think Pac would be dead? Yes or no?
Yeah, he'd be alive.
Then what did Diddy have to do with it then?
That was my question. Like, because, you know, it's like the media is always able to rewrite.
Fuck
it seems like they're trying to rewrite history.
The media is nuts. They cooked, yo.
Yeah, and
the media don't want the story. The media wants the sensationalism of
right.
it. They don't want the fact. The facts are boring to a lot of people.
Right.
They want to blame. The problem with being a scapegoat is like Diddy's the scapegoat for everything right now. He's taking the brunt. I've never seen Instagram ads. It's almost like a wanted Diddy. If he with you, click here. Like I've never seen no shit like that.
Right.
Like what the is that? Like there's ads out now. Almost back in the day when it was wanted, dead or alive, like that. That's what they're doing to Diddy on Instagram. So the Tupac thing. I just know that if they didn't stomp out Orlando at the and Pac was right there. The main one, right? I think Pac wouldn't have got killed that night in Vegas. That's just my opinion.
Did they try to make you choose a side in that whole East Coast, West Coast?
Nah, because I was West Coast out. I was a New York nigga. My whole grandfather from New York. I spent half of my summers, 5 months out the year in New York from Boston, 3 hours. But I listened and was influenced so much by Eazy-E and West Coast music as a rap group, to where it's like, it really was a good place for me to be because I could kind of understand both and don't take a side. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you think about it, at that time, Death Row and Bad Boys music was so amazing at that period, and that music will live on forever. Mm-hmm. A lot of this music right now, you'll never hear again 10 years from now.
No, for sure.
Ever. There'll be no publishing for a lot of this shit.
Now a lot of people like to bring Biggie's sexuality into question now.
Biggie?
Because of some of his lyrics.
Really? Oh. Yeah, I know, man. I don't know why niggas be doing that shit.
And you gave him 5 mics.
He's dope.
No, I'm saying.
The album's dope. Just because, listen. If he had a couple of suspect lyrics, that don't take away from the album.
Right.
And guess what? There's a whole LGBTQ community who probably love those lyrics. Now, how about that?
Amen.
We don't want to exclude them, do we?
Nah. Hell nah. So,
yeah, see, nobody wants to see. Everybody pick and choose their battles. Yeah. See, you looking at it a little different now, right? Yeah, see, I got you. See, I'm good at this. You can.
Now, you being from Boston, there's a lot of famous people from Boston. Matt Damon, Uma Thurman, Mark Wahlberg. Have you ever interacted?
What do they all have in common?
They all white.
All right, I just wanted to just get that.
Yeah, but you in them circles. You run into a famous.
Am I? I'm in Uma Thurman circles. All right. If I never thought that, but yeah. Look.
Nigga, you growing up, you was bigger than life to me. So.
Man, that's and that's probably what it is for me is that I never seen that, so that's probably why I never seen that. Mm. I never ever seen that. I just know that I was trying to hustle, trying to get my shit off as a groups, the Made Men, RSO, trying to learn about brand management with the Source and learn more about magazine stuff. And just try to expand myself from the streets. Because at that time in the 90s, it was like I was heavy gang banging and selling drugs at that time. And so it's like when I met Dave and went to the Source, it was a transition period. Once we started, for the first, 10 years, wasn't really no money being made, so I still had to hustle. So, not no money like that, but once we started, once like 99 came, then that was it. I ain't had to do none of that no more. Comes a time where you be like, shit, I ain't gonna die. I'm not even getting this money like this. And I was getting some real coins. That Source, when that Source started hitting 99, 2000, the money was way different and life was different.
Amen.
Amen.
Man, who got 5 mics that didn't deserve it?
Nah, for real.
Everybody deserved it. Everybody deserved it. There might have been some 4.5s that needed to be 5s.
Y'all gave him 5. Damn, what the f***? No, I'm just asking. That was fire though. But 5
listen.
mics,
First of all, right? All right.
It was good, but
so look, right? Let's give props where props is due.
okay, let's do that. I'm just talking shit.
Kim came in. That's why when you're a female that can get street niggas and real hardened niggas to listen to your shit and rap your shit, then you've really transitioned. And back then it was a male-dominated industry. Kim broke through that shit. She actually was cute enough and sexy enough and put all that designer shit on blast to where it's like she started the whole culture of what rap is right now. She really, to me, single-handedly started it. Kim. Then Foxy came in and helped, but Kim was the first one because of the platform she was on with Biggie, and she was put out there. And the songs she was doing, the beats was so hard, niggas was like this. It's not easy for a female back then for niggas just to be like street hood niggas like.
But that was my question. So was it more so that, did the female part play a role in why she got 5 mics? Because the album was fire, but 5 mics, when I think 5 mics, I'm thinking legendary.
Kim,
legendary album.
Me and Kim was dating around that time.
Okay, there it is. All right. Real nigga. Real nigga, ain't it? Real nigga. I would did the same. 6 mics. Yeah. 6 mics.
15.
What you talking about?
17
I
mics.
created a mic, nigga.
No, but I don't want, but I'm saying though, look, but I'm saying, though, to me, when you think about it, she deserved it.
She did.
Yeah, but
This nigga.
Come on.
I was really just asking.
No, but I'm saying, she was an amazing friend, really, really cool person. Dave was actually dating her manager at the time, Hillary.
Yeah, for sure.
Hillary at that time. So, but let me ask y'all a question.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's say that y'all had like, let's say the platform right here, and let's say Megan Good.
Yes.
And y'all fuck with Megan Good?
Yes. I met her personally.
Okay. Give me somebody who y'all really fuck with. Like really, like wow, like oh my God, like what really fuck with? No, that you like sexually.
Oh, okay.
Janice.
Who?
You talking about artists, right?
Yes,
okay.
artist, actress,
Nikki.
JT.
Meg.
Beyond
JT.
JT. Word?
JT.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
JT. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm on.
Shout. All right.
I'm on JT.
So let's say you Young Miami, you JT. Let's say y'all here. This is y'all. Let's say, look, fellas, we gonna go on a double date, and let's say y'all the most #1 podcast in the world, and y'all go out to dinner with them. Y'all ain't putting them on whatever they want to be.
Before
on
the
y'all
dinner, they
platforms.
come to do an interview. After the dinner, we shoot them a music video.
Right. Right.
We got it, nigga.
Right. So that just goes to show you now. Does that f up the integrity of what y'all are doing?
Absolutely not.
Nah, I wouldn't say.
I wouldn't say.
Why not?
It does to.
Well, it does or it doesn't.
It doesn't if she's actually fired, and she was fired.
What you mean?
You talking about Lil' Kim?
Right.
We talking about. So I'm saying Lil' Kim was really that.
There
though.
it is.
So
There it is. So then you can justify it.
Right.
The means are justified.
Yeah.
Yes.
I told her.
And shout out to Queen B because again, without Queen B, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
None of this would be happening with these females right now. It just doesn't happen. Without Queen B, and Nicki is just as up there now. Nicki is and in some ways surpassed, but there's no Nicki without Kim.
Nah, ain't no Nicki without Kim.
and there's no Glorilla and there's none of them. So, you know what I'm saying? You have to give it to her because it was a male dominated, and the females that were doing it did not do it like that. Right. So she deserved it.
Who's out right now, male and female artists, who deserves 5 mics?
You know what? Albums, well, I mean, Future. How about that? Let's go.
You said Future?
Future.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Future.
Yeah. Why don't they ever put him in the big three? When they say big three, it's like
I know. Future's underrated, man, because Future's one of the greatest artists that'll go down in the history of our time, not just hip hop, of our time. Like there's certain people that God's just gifted to them that they just got it. That every time they go in there, they're giving us what we want to hear. The melodies, the harmonies, the beat, whatever it is, the mood, we're getting it all. He's not trying at this point. It's just him.
Me and my brother like to have this debate. Who do you think is more legendary, Future or Scottie Pippen?
Look, now I'm here to tell y'all. I'm here to tell y'all. Look it. No. We don't want to do that because we need all the legends we can get in our culture.
That's real. That's real.
We need all the legends we can get because, you know, that's the only thing those are the legacies that are going to be left to move to these generations, because this generation needs help. They need somebody to look at. It can't just be 1 or 2 or 3. And that's why I don't get into top 5s and top 10s and all that, because without it, where would black people be? Amen. Without music, without the hip hop industry, without, like, where the we would be? Like, we need to be top 1 million. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because whoever went out there and did it, they contributed. Hopefully they got their money. Hopefully it progressed them. It helped their families, because that's all it is an opportunity. A lot of people think this is what you're gonna be doing for the rest of your life. Like, it's impossible. You know, you gotta be able to use one thing, do it good, and then from that morph something else, you know what I'm saying, that just makes sense, that comes from it. Mm-hmm. Because believe me, like, hip hop, these young niggas getting this money right now, listen, man, same thing how football players that played back then. And, you know, you can't forget those guys. They wasn't getting no money. They was go to work and then come in with leather helmets being up, you know, playing for no money. And now niggas is getting millions and millions and millions. You know, all I'm saying is that the guys that get it now, they have to respect it more.
Amen.
So, Benzino, man, you did it, man. Somehow you beat a RICO case, nigga. Was it a RICO?
It started out as RICO.
Okay.
So we was getting, this was the time at the source we started. This was like around, I mean, in Boston for a while, I had been getting they had always been with me in Boston, the gang task force, and looking into my situation up there, because, you know, my father had did a couple big bids in the feds. And my brother, Porky, you know, Free Porky, he's locked up now, also did a couple of big bids. So Boston's small, and, you know, they had been trying to with me for a minute, you know what I'm saying? I did a couple of those small bids here and there, like 6 months. But it was like they always was trying I was Ray Dog back then. They always was trying to get Ray Dog because, you know, we was a gang city. And I had my rap group, but we was big, you know. And not just that, where I was from, Four Corners, everybody from Boston that was somebody would always come to Four Corners. So just, you know, like, man, and I was, you know, I just, you know what I'm saying, I had a good run in Boston, you know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, you go through the stuff, you know, with your guys getting killed and stuff like that. But, you know, for the most part, you know what I'm saying, Boston growing up back then was dope. When we was making money, when I was with The Source for a good period of that time at the beginning, The Source really wasn't making no money for me to get a cut.
Got you. So it was like more like I still had to be in the streets. I still
had my foot, and, you know.
Yeah.
But once The Source started, we was getting that money, then I didn't have to do that anymore. It didn't make any sense. So the feds they was investigating me on some other shit, and it kind of morphed into how is he getting all this money? You know, the IRS is like, how the is this dude making all this money? He's never had a job. What the is going on? And they really didn't know about it. Like, the feds didn't know that Source magazine was making, we was, at our height, we was making $2-3 million a month. So it's like cash, you know what I'm saying? So they didn't know, they've never seen nothing like that before. So it's like, they probably didn't believe it. But when they first came, the charges were, when the criminal investigation, they had interviewed about 160 people. They interviewed the whole Source staff, which the accountant had war wire. They was pulling guys in and out of prisons, out of Pennsylvania, out of Fed joints, interviewing them. They went to Boston and interviewed a bunch of people, but altogether they interviewed over 150 people. And they just couldn't connect the dots. It was extortion, money laundering.
Tax evasion, right, was one of them?
Tax evasion, but what people don't realize, so the offices are different. Anything criminal is criminal. Whatever's taxes is taxes. They're two different offices. They're under the FBI, but they're two different offices. So this is a different investigation. It's criminal investigation and tax investigation. They don't know, one of them doesn't necessarily know even what they did, because when I got indicted, it was only because the criminal broke down, and they had been investigating me for almost 2 years and they couldn't get nothing. They was wasting money. So they was wasting millions of dollars. So that broke down, and they said, it, but they offered me 20 years. God rest my mother, they went to my mother's house and told her to tell me to take 20, 25 years because they was gonna hit me with a kingpin. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, kingpin? For what? You know what I'm saying? Like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I was doing my thing in Boston, but from the that they was saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, they mixing it up.
Right.
They remixing it. It wasn't like that.
Right.
I had already got out by the time they really, you know what I'm saying? And they was talking about bodies in Boston. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of unsolved bodies in Boston. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was trying to, and that was in what? That was 04, 07, I think. No. When I get, that was like 05, like 04, 05. So 05-ish. So, that was way back then. They tried to hit me with that.
So when you beat this, right? Did you say your lawyer fainted after he found out that you won, or he fainted in the trial?
Salute to Leonard Sands. Leonard Sands, a little skinny Jewish guy out of Florida. Dave got him. I don't know where Dave got him from, but thank God he did. And I just remember he cost a lot. Little motherfucker boy, he cost a lot. But I could have beat that case. Like, first of all, right? The case was based on, first of all, I had an all-white jury in Boston, Mass, in the federal building. Because when you pick your jury, the questions are, do you know Ray Dog, Made Men, Source Magazine? Every black and Latinos putting their hand up, so they gotta go. So I had an all-white jury, so I figured, you know what? They said, look, all right, you're gonna get 5, most you can get is 5 years. Take 3. Take the 3, we don't gotta go to trial. I was like, hell no. It's like, nah. It's like, that for what? Let me shut this off. I said, that for what? And Coi had just been born, so I wanted to spend more time with her. And if I had took it to trial, I was like, I knew I was getting locked up. I said, Mrs. up. But my thing was, they wired up our accountant, right? The accountant, George Moore, was somebody that Dave hired. Now, he'd been working with us for 5 years. Paying him over $150,000 a year. He's on the business side of the office where Dave and his office are next to each other. So when I come up there, the only thing me and him are talking about is Celtics and Jets. He's from New Jersey. Patriots and Jets. Football, that's it. I don't have any other conversation. I don't know you. Half Jewish, half Italian guy, George Moore. So I used to go up to the office, used to be like, Ray, we got to file these taxes. I was like, okay, well, file them. Get the information from Dave. I don't know. So I didn't know a W-9 from a W-2, from a W-5. That's what the you were here for, right? That's what I thought. So, all right. I go back up at the office a couple of weeks later. Hey, Ray, we really got to file these taxes. I'm like, why don't, at this point, it's like, bro, I said, I go talk to Dave, listen, talk to him, man. I don't know why he keep asking me. Now, the whole time, right, he's wearing this, he always wore a button-up shirt. And in the source, we 50, 60 people on the staff. The journalists are over here. The business is over here. The journalist side is way more wild. Business is quiet, advertising, money, journalists, you know, stories, art direction, photographer, they partying. It was crazy over there on that side. So I'm just trying to wonder, you know what I'm saying, why did he wear the wire, right? So when he came, he testified against me. I'm sitting right here, I got a suit on. And he came and testified me. The way they had their witness thing was it sits right in front of you. So he's right there and I see he's flushed out. He can't even look at me. The jury's right here. He's sitting right there. I'm looking at, like, surreal. I could not believe this shit. I'm like, what the did I do to this dude? So he told me, my lawyer asked him why he wore the wire. He said they approached him over the George Washington Bridge at a Dunkin' Donuts when he was going home from the office. And they told him the situation. They bought him some donuts and some coffee. And he said he decided to wear it because he thought it would be like adventurous, intriguing. It was intriguing. And the nigga had like he always wore a white collared shirt, so that was normal. But then I did notice that he had like a clip-on name tag, right? Looked like an ID, but the ID had a metal piece in it. Now, I'm not thinking nothing. At first, I'm like, why does he got that on? But then I'm like, maybe that's my mind is like, and I'll never forget this, that's something that all accountants have to wear in the tri-state area. Because all of a sudden, he's wearing it. Because nobody else got no tag on in the office. Unless you got another job that you're going to after. But I didn't think nothing of it. But that was the wire. So the jury must have felt like, listen, first of all, you're trying to trap him. Second of all, you are the accountant. You should have done it. And third of all, he wasn't doing nothing illegal for you to wear the wire on him. They found me not guilty in 2 hours. Now, at closing arguments, the lawyer passed out. This was the day before. He passed out and shit. At closing argument, he fainted. And they came in, they picked him up, and he went back to the judge's chamber. He came back out with the ambulance, with oxygen. He's waving at me. So I was like, I don't know what the was going on. So I didn't even hear from him for the night. Next day, went to court. They said his heart defibrillator went out. Something happened with it, needed a new battery, some shit. But he said his closing arguments, and 2 hours, they found me not guilty. And you know what I'm saying? So, there's not too many people, and Lord knows I'm not bragging about this, I'm just explaining the situation that beat a federal tax case, you know what I'm saying? So.
What were your nights like, knowing that you're being indicted by the feds and you could possibly lose your freedom?
I never worried about shit, man. And to this day, I've learned, I got this ability, right? To where, and maybe, I got this ability to where it's like whatever it's gonna be is gonna be. And I gotta face whatever it is head on with no worry. I gotta condition my mind with that. And just whatever's gonna happen, I gotta just face it. Because it's gonna happen anyway, so you might as well get used to facing it than you are worrying.
Right.
Because it's coming.
Now, somebody who just came home from the feds was Big Meech. And he did a long ass time.
20.
Crazy. Man, did you ever have any dealings with BMF, Big Meech? Or?
I f with Meech, Blue, all of them, J-Bo. I just talked to Bo. A lot of them, the twins. I mean, it was so many niggas in BMF at that time. You gotta understand, of course it was Meech and T and you know what I'm saying? I didn't have too much interaction with Terry, but there's a lot of niggas with, you know what I'm saying, in Atlanta that was with BMF, so. But I remember particularly around the Source Awards time, I had Club Zeno, my club down there, and I remember that the feds were down there watching them, like they were there. They were at the club and everything, young niggas, like a black and white dude. Like there was, you know what I'm saying? I think there was about 6 of them, but I definitely seen 2 of them, you know what I mean? Because we knew everybody that was in the club. So Meech wanted to have a meeting with me. I think 2 G's told me, my man, I forgot So the meeting was at this in Coral Gables at this mansion. This was the night before the awards, and he was, him and Blue, you know what I'm saying, we there chilling and shit. Of course they know who I am and shit, you know what I'm saying, I know who they are. But we smoking and they just like, man, we just want to pick your brain, man, you know. I'm like, what's up? It's like, yo, how you beat your Fed case? I was like, bro, I'm gonna be real with you, my nigga. I couldn't even answer that, you know, because I'm not even want to be playing around with anybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't even just for the moment and nothing clout, none of that shit. I just said, look, everybody's shit's different. You know what I'm saying? He knew that they were following him. He knew that all this shit was coming down. He basically said it right there. He was like, look, Blue too. And, you know, pretty much they knew what was getting ready to happen. They had that same attitude, like, you know, you're already in too deep. And what I did tell him, I was like, look, I said, this is what I can do for you. Since the feds are down here looking at you and everything, I said, the awards is tomorrow. I said, how about I just make up an award for you? So that you could look legitimate, because I knew that the feds was gonna come to the awards too. They had been there the whole weekend. Wow. They really was there taking on everything. Like, you know, of course they was watching them, but you know what I'm saying? They want to be around shit too. They see all them women and all the celebrities. You know what I mean? But they was at the awards too. The same two that was at Zeno. It was obvious at that point. And we gave them the best independent label award. And I did that based off of because when So Icy came out, I to be honest, how I knew So Icy, Gucci, and Jeezy was really through BMF. Right. Like when they came to Miami that time and they was killing that, that's really how I first time I really heard both of them was really through BMF, and I'm just thinking of that now. But you know what I'm saying? They won the award, you know what I'm saying? But you know, that was it.
Did you ever wonder why neither one of them two went to jail?
Who?
Gucci or Jeezy?
Who?
Gucci or Jeezy?
Gucci been in jail?
No, I mean for the BMF, because they both had BMF ties.
You know, I mean, like I said, them niggas was with everybody, so a lot of people didn't go to jail. You know what I mean?
Got you. Okay.
It just depends on where you was on the chain. Like,
got you.
The separation. Are you 6 degrees, 8 degrees, 10? You know what I'm saying?
This what I got a question. I was watching an interview with one of the BMF guys, and they were saying that Terry was actually the one that like had more money than Meech, because he had a lot of more. They were saying that he was buying lottery tickets, he had a limo service, and when they met, it almost seemed like he worked for Terry because of the way that he was moving. So why does Terry never really get glorified in the BMF? When they talk BMF, you never really hear anybody talk about Terry.
I mean, just from me outside looking in, Terry wasn't as flashy as Meech. Right. You know what I'm saying? But they were brothers. They each had their own mind at the same time. Shit. At the end of the day, they still riding for each other. But you know, Terry had a way of doing things. Like, listen, at the end of the day, the plug is accessible to both of them. Now, how you do it is how you do it. How he do it and how he do it. I don't think it was as unified as people thought, even through business, but I'm sure, brother, it always was. You know, that's just how me looking at it, you know what I'm saying?
So, regardless, when the feds are investigating you, you pretty much know. It ain't no secret.
Oh, they was following us. We come downstairs, just like in a movie. They cross the street and they would follow us to the restaurant, because we'd always go right after the Source. When Dave and them are done, we'd always go eat somewhere. They follow us to the restaurant, wait at the restaurant, follow us around, we go to the club, they follow us to the club. Sometimes they'd leave, sometimes. Like, we knew when they was, you know what I'm saying? This was happening for a long time. Because it was too much. Like, I had already been investigated for a bunch of shit in Boston. So I got the out of Boston, you know? The reason why I left Boston was because of that, was because of the investigation. Like, it wasn't looking good for me if I would have stayed in Boston.
Right. Your daughter, Coi Leray, right?
Coi Leray.
There's a lot of internet people saying that you weren't there for her.
Coi
yeah,
Leray.
Yeah, you weren't there for her. You didn't take care of her.
Yeah, the internet. What is the internet? Listen, I take pride into what I've done for all my kids. I got 4 beautiful kids, and I take pride to know that, you know, I love my kids dearly. You know, me. You know what I'm saying? And anybody that tunes into something that has to do with that type of thought, they don't have anything to do with it. You know, I don't. When I came up taking care of my kids, I didn't do it because other people were looking. It wasn't too many pictures or the internet or videos. I did it because I love my kids, and I knew that that is what I had to do, as my responsibility as a young man. Now, other things come in play, like the streets and hustling. I'm not working a job. I'm not going to college. I'm a street nigga and I sell drugs. Well, that takes on a different type of fatherhood.
For sure.
That doesn't mean I don't love her any different from the doctor that's going to work, coming home to the picket fence and his daughter. Our love, I'm sure he loves his daughter, I love my daughter the same. But the way I have to move is gonna affect how I raise her. Right. But I raised her. Make no mistakes about it. Yeah.
How is it, you know, being a father and having that spotlight? We see Bootsy going through it. You know, he has a hard time, you know, in the public eye dealing with his children. Not through his relationship with his children, but like people seeing how he reacts to certain things. And while in our eyes it's just him parenting, or you would just be parenting, other people have so many judgments on it.
I mean, first of all, you know, when you know you put the work in and the sacrifice, what you've done, and everything you went through back then, for it to smash back in your face, that hurts. Right. That hurts for a nigga, because we take pride into that. Because we watch so many other around us don't do half of what we did. Even though we wasn't perfect and we wasn't Cliff Huxtable and, you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean? But within raising a child in the hood as a street guy, well, I'm high up there. As far as raising her like the movies and Cliff Huxtables, no, I'm low on the totem pole. But this was my life. And when you're in the streets, you got the number one thing is when you have a child is you have to feed them. They gotta eat. All right, that's number one. Number two is you take pride in how they look. You don't want to be out there in the hood and going places and everything, your kid look crazy, so you got to get them fly shit so that they look good because they represent you. All right, that shit costs. If you don't have a job, you have to go out there and hustle to get it. Well, I'm not going to be able to be home all the time. Mm-hmm. And we're not going to be able to go on trips all the time. And because there's, you know, we hustling. But when we do, we go to Disneyland. When we do, you know what I'm saying? And if I'm not with the mother, then she's coming to stay with me. So, you know, I think people, that's a very touchy subject, and there's a lot of broken families with single families, single mothers especially, and it's a touchy subject when it comes to daughters and dads. And, you know, I love my daughter dearly, that'll never change. It's unfortunate what happened on the internet, but it's the internet. I don't put too much stock into the internet. I don't put no stock into it. I don't give a what's on the internet when it comes to me. Because when I see people, the love is ridiculous. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What do you feel about like when you see your peers lusting after your daughter? How does that make you feel?
Just like any other father. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm saying I don't want to be around that shit. I don't want to see that shit. Yeah, like who the want to see that? Not me. Like my thing is, you know, if you're gonna be, if you're gonna treat my daughter, if you're gonna be a man, you're gonna be with my daughter, then I'd rather you marry her. And then I'd want to meet you and holler at you. And I don't know how long you're going to be around for me to be, and I'm not the dude to be meeting you, then meeting him and meeting. I don't want to meet nobody. I want to give her the privacy. And I'm sure for her, but believe it or not, you know what I'm saying? It's always good that your parents accept the person that your child brings. But it's also important that the child know that we want to make sure that he's the right one for you, because we've already experience everything you're about to experience, and him. Right. I'm just being a dad, man. What do you want me to do?
Does Coi Leray make it without the Benzino name?
Does she make it without the Benzino name? Of course. Like, Coi's relentless. Well,
like in the game.
Well, she's my DNA. So that's a relentless DNA she got. Like that DNA she got from her dad is a which passed on from my father. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got some real DNA. And her mom, you know, Coi's mom, Coi comes from, you know, I know Asia don't like me to say this, but Asia street, her family street, not, you know, no jokes. And, you know, they group projects, and that's what Coi is, you know, but I managed to take advantage of opportunities and get myself out the hood and do things through music. But I had been doing that all my life. Coi comes out and do music, it's no coincidence. My son just did a show in Chicago last night. He's 3 years older than Coi. They got different mothers. You know what I'm saying? Of course they're gonna do music. They came out the womb in studios their whole life.
Do you think you'll have any more kids?
I got an 8-year-old, and he just turned 9, and I'm 59.
Oh, well, shit.
So, yeah,
Damn,
you know what I'm saying? Me and my girl, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, like, you know, I mean, listen, ain't no more abortions. So, you know what I'm saying?
He said whatever happened.
Yeah, you gotta have to keep that motherfucker.
Do you still feel like, you know, let's say you had one on the way, do you still feel like you have that energy? Or
Oh
that
man,
get
let me
up and
tell
go?
you something. If I was who I was older at 50, to Coi, Ray Ray, and Taj, man, and that's where I could apologize to them on camera, because I'm such a better father now.
Yeah.
And I'm so much more slowed down now, but it's the life I'm living now. I had to move more. I'm more focused now. I know right from, there's no gray area for me. So I'm more slowed down with Zeno. I'm enjoying it more. It's, you know what I mean? Not that I wasn't with the moments with them, but I was moving so fast with the Source magazine and street shit and everything. It was, they come stay with me, and as long as they got money, that was the love language. But I'm just a different person now, you know? And yeah, man, are you kidding me? See, energy's not a problem. Like, my metabolism has always been up, man. You know what I'm saying? That ain't the issue. So I still got swimmers, so, you know, why not?
Man, I was gonna ask you about, you know, you being with the Source, right? And you seeing the landscape of media right now, right? What is your take on it? I have a 2-part question, but what's your take on the media landscape right now?
Media's a joke right now.
Why do you say that?
Media sucks. Nobody's taking the time. To be a great journalist, you gotta research. You gotta get into somebody's life. You gotta research what they've done and then put it on paper so that the people that you're projecting it to comes back with the sense that they really understand the person you're writing about. Nobody does that anymore. Everything is so quick. We had 9-page stories and articles. We had some of the greatest writers and journalists on this land that have all went and done movies and your favorite TV shows. They've done great things, man. But they put research in. They knew that they had 3 weeks to sit, and they would 10, 12, 13, 14 hours a day on that story. But they would go deep into things that nobody cares about anymore. Everybody just wants clicks and comments and whoever's saying the craziest shit. So everything else gets glossed over as boring. But that's really the fabric of who we are, is all that shit. And now that you're not giving people the opportunity to write those type of stories or give those stories out, then people are losing out so much. Hip hop loses out so much not having that type of journalism anymore, honestly.
So now, like, you have the emergence of all of these podcasts, right, that are getting their own money, right? You said you were making $2 million a month on
2,
advertising.
3, sometimes 4.
Right. And you see a lot of these podcasts don't have advertising. They're really just getting it out the mud, doing it themselves. In your opinion, if you were in their position where you were the podcaster, would you be shooting for the advertisement, or would you just keep it authentic, raw, real, and just getting it out the mud?
You know, nowadays advertisement have gone so far, and platforms can make so much money doing different stuff. Like, and a big credit of that goes to people like Dave Mays, Steve Stoute. I got to give credit where credit's due. When I criticize, I can criticize them, but but I can still give them credit for where it's due. Not everybody's perfect in all aspects, but that advertising, they really helped birth that. As far as in hip hop, and nowadays, excuse me, that's that Mexican Chinese rice we just had. Nowadays, like, you take a platform, tell them to go to TV with it, and you can get subscriptions, right? Okay, you can go to a movie theater with it and get that money. Then you can come and get the streaming money, right? Then after the streaming, after that slows down, you could go take it and make it free and get the ads to come in and show ads while people are watching it. That's 3 forms of revenue right there. That's crazy off of one piece of content. You understand what I'm saying? So I think podcasts are amazing. I think it's once everything's getting oversaturated, of course, and there's too many of them that just put out garbage. I think you're only as good as your podcast is as the people asking the questions and as the host, again, who's kind of like a journalist and because I do so much of these, you know what I'm saying, that, you know what I'm saying, it makes it interesting when you ask the interesting questions. You know what I'm saying? And, and you do your research on the person. A lot of these guys just want to, just talk. And eventually what's going to happen is the stories are going to get boring. And you got to find ways that are giving content that is not only entertainment, that is moving the culture forward.
Now, I mean, you've mastered this. You've done it for several years. Why not a Source podcast or the Source blog?
Well, the Source is already, somebody else owns it. Right now, yes, we can't use the name, but I mean, I could use from the creator of the Source if I want. Yeah, eventually, I'm gonna do a podcast. Eventually, I'm gonna get that money too. I feel because
it just seemed like it'd be so easy for you.
No, I mean, eventually, but with me is everything got to be like on point. You know me, everything got to be on point, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the universe, like with me, the universe has to click a certain way that I'm ready. So, you know what I'm saying? Eventually, I definitely want to, but it just has to be right. I think a lot of podcasters mess up, and this is where I love y'all's podcast because y'all don't make it about y'all, whereas that a lot of these podcasters are making it about them. Yeah. They're making it about them now. Like, they start out humble. Now every time they get by a car, then that's part of the show. You know what I'm saying? Look at the new car I bought. Like, to me, you know what I'm saying? Or it's about me and what I wore today and how I'm talking and I talk like this. And it's like, it's just these podcasters, and salute to everybody, and there's no hate, but their egos are gonna get in the way when they make it about, keep having amazing content with your interviews and the people you bring on, and don't make it so much about yourself.
Okay, now I want you to give some free game to the podcasters.
Vlad?
Not
DJ
Vlad. We talking about the niggas. The niggas get it out the mud.
That escalated.
Well, yeah, now for real.
You have beef with Vlad?
Yeah, probably.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
fuck
you
with Vlad.
you got to do your research. For sure.
For sure, culture vulture. We can all agree on that.
Right.
Vlad instigates beefs with people, black people.
Right.
He don't do it with white people. Like, Vlad used to be humble. He's not no more. And now the thing about Vlad is Vlad pays good.
Yeah. So niggas gonna go up there. So what does that say about black? No, but before that, I was gonna ask, like, for the black people that are in position that are trying to get it. What are some of the ways they're missing money? What are some things that they should be looking at? Because like you said, you was getting that check. What do you think?
I'm saying, like, not all money's good money. You know what I'm saying? First of all, like, I'm just the wrong person to ask that because I just don't believe in just being the clown for the dollar. Even when I went on Love and Hip Hop, I wasn't trying to date 2 women at the same time and all that shit. All that the shit happened at the reunion. I didn't know that shit was gonna happen. Johnson ran across and started punching on people, and who the knew that was gonna happen? I didn't go on TV for that. I didn't. So I'm not with the clown for clicks and comments and dollars, like, and just say anything. And I think it's silly to risk your life for clicks and comments and a few coins. Niggas really say shit to risk their life on here. Like, that shit blows me. Like, that shit's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they say shit to risk their life. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't do that. I'm not with that.
Why do you think our culture runs to Vlad so much to tell their story?
Money. He pays more than everybody.
I hear you say that, but then, we just seen him disrespect Marlon Wayans.
He disrespected Farrakhan.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
We keep going, niggas just keep going back to him. But, you know what I'm saying, if you somebody and you need a check and he got 10, 20,000, I heard, he never paid me no shit like that. Now, mind you, I've been doing Vlad interviews since he started, over maybe 12, 13 years, long time, maybe even more than that. Vlad used to come by the source like a little puppy and just sit there, you know what I'm saying? Just like, just sit there and watch me and Dave and like, yo, he used to be amazed with, that was Dave's son. Real talk, Vlad was Dave's son at one point. Now, I will give him his props. He's one of the first to do this interview off camera and have the person do it. So I'm gonna give him his props, but where he went wrong is ego. His ego. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get the out of here, Vlad. You know what I'm saying? You can't have an ego with our culture. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not even supposed to be here.
I feel like we allow a lot of people to come in our culture and just kind of like maybe Eminem.
Eminem earned his way, man. Eminem,
you think so?
Eminem raps good, man. He has a whole state, Michigan, that support him. We don't even have to say Detroit, because Detroit, people kind of get it twisted with Detroit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people in Detroit don't even listen to Eminem because it's a black city. But Michigan is so huge, there's way more than Detroit. So, he earned his way. Beastie Boys earned their way. If you nice with it, you nice with it. He nice with it. I wouldn't say that he didn't earn his way, but he's still, he's a rapper.
Right.
Hip hop is our culture. It
Right.
came to be our culture. It took on a different type of meaning with black people. He's not a part of that part of it.
That's what because a lot of things that often get me is people will say he's like #1 in hip hop or he's the best. And
Well, that's up to them to feel that way.
Right.
Everybody, what makes us individuals from 8 billion people on this earth is our ability. And it's good to respect it. I respect anybody that likes him. Because, you know what I'm saying? I don't allow, his fans have a hard time respecting anybody who don't like him. That's the problem. Because in there it's like, oh, because he's white. No, you might not just like his music. There's a lot of black people music I don't like. You know what I'm saying? That's all right. There's a lot of black people music I do like. I like white people music too.
Right. So, if you go back in time, is there anything you would have changed with the Eminem beef or anything like that?
Nah, man. I don't go back in time, man. I just don't. I swear to God, I don't, man. Like,
Do you get tired of talking about this? Like,
no. Well, yeah. Well, the Eminem thing is I'm attached to it. It's normal. Yeah.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? I'm not one to like regret or, because I just feel like it's such a different time now. Like if you probably asked me that maybe if it was 5 years old, but this is like 20 something years old. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot of things that of course everybody would want to change, but I don't think about it because I'm here healthy.
Now, it seemed at one point that the source was kind of geared toward destroying Eminem. Like I can remember a picture that
when I was beefing with him.
Yeah. Like you had a picture where you was eating M&Ms.
I had snatched him out the spine with his head like this.
Yeah. So, like, do you think that was maybe a little bit much to use that platform to
No, man. Y'all just said earlier, right? When you went out with JT and Young Miami, that they come and do whatever they want.
Nah, for sure.
All right, well, that why? You know why? Because it's y'all's to do what you want with it.
Right.
See, I didn't want the source to get up involved with it, but it was my magazine, and he had Interscope, so he had a big platform. I had to use my platform. It turned bigger than just me battling him or me going against him. It's like, oh, now this is bigger than that now. So I have to use, all my ammunition. I have to use everything. Like, why would you go in a war with a bat when you got 5 tanks right there?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna bring everything you got.
Yeah.
So, Source got into it, and it's history. When you look back, it's always gonna be history.
Yeah. Do people realize that you beat a case against Interscope when you used that Eminem
case.
Another federal case when you used Eminem's racist slur?
They had to pay our lawyers.
Yeah, did that start the fair use act?
No, but it's gonna be something that people could use. Lawyers go back and they use different cases, as the model for their case. But it was a situation where we was a magazine and we had the fair right to use this, to put it in our magazine for people to see it.
And for those who don't know who we're talking about the Eminem
racist tapes.
Yes.
And when we we couldn't put the whole tape in it. The tape was like an hour. So the judge said, okay, I'll let you do it, but you can only do 30 seconds. So we put 30 seconds of all the curses and racist words and shrunk wrap out 2,000 copies and put it out.
Why do you think black people didn't, they didn't cancel Eminem behind this. They were offended for a little second, but they got past it. Why do you think?
The internet wasn't out. The internet wasn't out.
Yeah, it was not like
and
now.
at that point, Interscope was so big and so influential with Dre, Snoop, 50. One thing I do notice, man, you make good music, man, it don't matter what you do.
R. Kelly.
For some reason, you make some good ass music, boy. You could be and do whatever you want out this bitch.
There's a clip of like you crying about the beef.
I was drunk.
Okay.
Drunk.
Yeah.
I was drunk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, drunk as a... I want to get drunk. You know, me and Nori, that's one of my closest friends. And I've done about 4 interviews. I said, this time I'm gonna get drunk this time.
Right.
Because I want to open up. I got too drunk.
Right.
There's a stage of drunk where it's like, okay, I'm talking good. Then towards a little more, my mouth is getting numb. I could barely move it. I don't think I can. Then a little more, I'm starting to kind of get black and dizzy. Now it's like I'm getting emotional. And then right after it was over, I passed out. My girl drove me to the hotel. So like, you know, you want to hear some crazy shit about that interview?
Yeah.
I never went back and watched it. Ain't that crazy?
Right.
I never went back. I seen clips.
Right.
But I never went back and watched the whole interview. There's still a lot of Love and Hip Hop of the 3rd season episodes I don't watch. I don't know. I don't be watching shit. But I know that it was a real moment. And what I said was from the heart, you know.
Right.
Because alcohol make it come out.
Oh yeah.
And I do know that part where it was probably 20 years of frustration.
Right.
Of people coming at me, pages getting deleted, me going at people, y'all kept your money. Like that's after a while, man. I should have, 20 years of this shit.
It's a long time.
Of that shit. So, and like 15 pages later, Instagram pages later, like, you know what I mean? I probably just a little frustration came out. I'm human. You know what I'm saying? But I was, you see how I was tipping that shit? You see how I was.
Right. Did this beef ever get real? Like, was it?
It wasn't really a beef, man. Beef is, people get killed.
Yeah, so it never.
This was a moment, man, in hip hop history. You know what I'm proud of the most?
What's that?
When me and Eminem's dead, you're not gonna be able to say his name without mentioning Benzino.
That's a fact. That's a big fact.
That's how I know about you.
Yeah, it opened your whole.
You're not gonna be able to say. You're not gonna be able to say his name without mentioning me, and his people know that. So, not that really makes a big thing to me, because I got my own name. Like Benzino's, people have named dogs, cats, frogs, turtles, hamsters, all Benzino. Yeah, like there's only one Benzino now. Benzino, there are people, babies being named Benzino. Like Benzino's a real name now.
Yeah.
Trev named me Benzino, Free Big Trev in Boston.
Now I ain't gonna lie, on Rap Elvis, that was the one I felt like you got him. I felt like you was on his ass on that Rap Elvis, bro.
It was just a good time and period. Like I was with the right group of guys, we came up with it. The beat was dope, you know what I'm saying? And like, it was long as hell. You know what I'm saying? Long ass track. I like Vultures because that beat was so gangster and that was just so dope, the first one I did. But yeah, I got his ass back. I'm sure he knows that too.
Right.
You know. And who knew that it would end like that? Because I thought it was over. When he came back with that song saying something about me and Coi, he just opened the door. So I said, wait a minute, hold up. Now this is the time where I was like, oh, viral? Okay. Did the 2 songs, went right to Mom's Spaghetti, stayed out there for about a week, and it was just like, it went crazy. It was up for that whole few weeks with that shit. So, you know what I'm saying? It was pretty dope. It's hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I respect Eminem, who he is as an artist. At some point, we got to move on. He's dope. I can name a million other black guys that are dope.
Right.
You know what I mean? At some point, it's like, yeah, man, like, but I understand it. He's white. He's white doing something in a predominantly black. I mean, but Cooper, do people feel this way about Cooper Cup? Damn. They ain't even gonna be talking about Cooper Cup 10 years from
There's just one song he said, basically he was talking, he was like, there was no gangsters in Boston or something like that. How did everybody feel about that?
Nobody paid attention to that.
Right.
Eminem did not grow up gangster, and Eminem knows that. Eminem, and you gotta look at Eminem's life. Eminem's been sheltered his whole life with security. So Eminem probably got mad anxiety, he probably can't even be by himself and walk through a mall. Of course, I'm sure he would get mobbed, but just feeling safe, like his whole life he's been sheltered. You know what I'm saying? You can catch me at the most craziest gas station in any hood in America. He'd be like, that you, Zeno? And I'm like, yo, get some swish downs. What's up, buddy? Yo, let me get that picture. Yeah. We're different.
There's a gas station. You made me think of a gas station out here. I won't even pull up to that bitch.
And I'll be right, and you'll see me right at that motherfucker get some swishes and a vitamin water, real talk. And it's like, and somebody will want to take a picture or somebody, and I'm proud to say that. I'm proud of that. Yeah.
Culture vultures.
Oh.
Do you feel like is there any more culture vultures that you think are people that you think are culture vultures right now?
You know what? And I like, listen, if I'm saying, look it, yeah. I'm gonna say Adam's a culture vulture, and I like Adam.
Yeah.
I don't like Vlad, but I like Adam.
Right.
Personally. From the time I met him, cool dude, treated me with respect, and it was a good dude. But I believe he's a culture vulture. No disrespect. A culture vulture to me is like, well, he's hiring black guys and giving them jobs, right? I don't know how much money everybody's making or whatever. But Adam just gotta realize, man, like Adam is a smart guy.
Definitely.
He gotta realize at some point that what he's doing is hurting us in ways that he don't even understand. Right. You know, without, yo, Adam, it's none of that. Just, because I don't want the back and forth. I'm gonna explain it in a manly person that I'm hoping I'm not offending him, but he has to realize that the stuff that he does, the stuff that Vlad does, it's hurting, it's instigating, it's creating problems within. He goes back home, he's not coming back here. They still gonna deal with each other here.
Right.
The thing with him and Brick Baby not going
Shout
there
out
with,
Brick Baby.
Shout out to Brick Baby, like, there's gonna be probably issues with the people who are still working there. These are how real street issues go on that have nothing to do with the podcast.
Right.
That's what I call a culture vulture, who do things to our culture that hurt us within.
All right.
And then they go fly back to their people when they want to.
I was thinking of Post Malone, and you know he's from Dallas.
Post Malone, look what Post did. Came out with all them hard beats and then switched up. Kid Rock did the same thing. Let me go get him on some hip hop. Once I get him, now I'm gonna go, because in their minds, they want to get the bigger white audience, and you can't blame them for that because that's a money decision. But yes, they used us and they kept it pushing.
How do we block that? Is there any way to stop? Is there a way to gatekeep hip hop to keep from appropriating
Source
our
Magazine
culture?
were gatekeepers. We was at one point.
Right.
And I tried to gatekeep against the Eminem situation.
Right.
It just was nobody was with me. I'm trying to fight a fight, and I turn around, ain't nobody there. You know what I'm saying? That's not to say keep Eminem out of it, but just to organize and make sure hip hop is for us, by us, FUBU. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how we keep the money within.
Amen.
That's how we get the zillions of white people to keep buying up within us. Now it's theirs. It's theirs now. It ain't ours.
Right, because there's so many white rappers now. It's like,
it's not just that though. It's just the whole thing, the streams and the, you know what I'm saying, the way they robbing us with that, the way they're putting music out and the way music is monetized now is one of the biggest robberies ever. It's probably just up there as much as slavery. Like picking cotton for nothing, getting your songs heard for nothing, 1/4% of a penny every time somebody listens to your song. So yeah, streaming is up.
Love and hip hop. How scripted is that?
How scripted? Reality TV, everything has an organized script of the basis of how it's gonna go. But what reality TV does is they give you the kind of like the outline, then they let and see what goes on. They set it up. They set up drama situations, and they let the drama take place. Oh. In my case, Love and Hip Hop would give us beats. Beats is like a script of what they expect out of the scene and what we should say and what. It's the truth. You could ask my producers at Love and Hip Hop. I didn't do the beats. I just did what Benzino did. They would tell me, okay, Benzino, this is over here. Then they would let me do my thing. Yeah. Yeah, everything you've seen with Benzino was all authentic.
Well, what's the pros and cons of being on reality?
The cons is your love life and your personal businesses on TV to be scrutinized by everybody.
Right.
And then the cons is a lot of people can't. The lines are blurred between reality TV and real life. And off camera, it becomes a mess.
Right.
That's the cons. Those are the biggest cons. That's what ruins relationships, ruins careers, ruins a lot. Like if you don't understand what it is and know how to navigate it, you'll ruin your career, yourself, and any relationship you're in. Right. My relationship got ruined through it. You know what I'm saying? But I did it. You know what I'm saying? And, reality TV, I know reality. I know reality TV, it's all entertainment at the end of the day, but it's still a representation of who you are. And I know how I want to be represented. I know how I want to be seen. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
We interviewed Dehaven.
Shout out to Dehaven.
Did you know about a Dehaven when Jay Z was first coming up?
Yeah. I'm from Boston, and Dehaven's name came up a bunch of times, of course.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, everybody knew Dehaven was like Jay's muscle. I mean that.
Oh, okay. So that's the real thing.
That's how I looked at it. When I heard Dehaven, and then you know what I'm saying. I know a couple of guys from Marcy, but that's how I looked at it. That's how people looked at me as Dave's muscle. Not knowing that I was making a lot of the business decisions at the source.
Right.
So, that's how you're looked upon. Because Dehaven had a rep in Marcy.
Right. Nobody with Dehaven.
Yeah, like Jay really wasn't what Dehaven was. But that's all right, because that's how it happens. Look, not all the rappers, it's crazy because back in the day, the rapper just had a rap. Now we all from the hood. It's not like you had to go out there and kill somebody. It flipped now to where it's that the rappers, the killers are the ones because of the internet getting the most attention. The ones who are killing. The ones who do the most killing. The ones who do the most crime. The ones who are the bravest. The ones who live more dangerous. That shit is backwards as hell.
We had this kind of discussion. They was like, with Dehaven, and they was like, well, what was Jay Z in the group? And I was like, he was the rapper. They was like, no, what was he? The rapper, nigga.
Right. Right, but that's a big part. That's the money. Drug niggas listen, 9 times out of 10, a lot of these niggas that was out here hustling wasn't gonna get no money like rap money at its peak. Like rap money at its peak is good ass money. And, you ain't gotta be risking your life for it on no corner or risking your freedom. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't downplay that Jay was a rapper. The nigga was a dope ass rapper, and you know what I'm saying? Like, if you a real ass nigga and you the street nigga, and you the nigga with the rep, it only makes sense. Play your position. Everybody play their position and we gonna be all right. When the rapper starts trying to play the killer, or when the killer starts trying to play the rappers, again, the lines are getting blurred. And this is where all the problems we're having now.
Yeah, when you start seeing like the drill scene, and you start seeing like a Quando, Rondo, and Tim and Von situation where we're actually watching rappers kill rappers and rap about it and seeing it in real time, like, you being from the streets, did you see this coming? And now that's here, what do you think about it?
But I mean, I'm no hypocrite, and I guess I had some responsibility to it with doing gangster rap, not knowing that it was gonna turn into this. But yeah, and it's sad, it's unfortunate. Like, these kids they have opportunities and they're not making it to 30. And it's unfortunate because they've never had nothing. I mean, we're talking the type of poverty that some of them came up in to what they are now, you would think.
They would chill up.
But you gotta understand, there's no training. There's no instilled knowledge. There's nothing that's gonna help them think beyond the shit that they're doing. The father's not there, the mother ain't on that level. So what the is a kid to do but go out in the streets, and that's it. That's gonna be your teacher right there. Whatever goes there is gonna go there. Now, couple that with the internet, something that is just showing that's half of it's non-attainable, the other half of it is just a bunch of, and the other half is lies, the other half is porn. Like, what the is gonna happen to him? What is his mind being fed on a daily, hourly, minutely basis? Niggas is getting cooked out here, bro.
Facts. When you see someone like Jaguar Wright on our platform, and she says a lot of stuff about people, things that she say and now it comes true, what are your thoughts on that? Do you have any, like...
I mean, it's not just Jaguar, right? Everybody's saying things. People know the more outlandish shit you're gonna say is gonna be it's gonna make the blogs. That's what's gonna get the traffic. That's it now. It's the thing to do now. And it's taken over a lot of people. My thing is, some of the stuff that I've heard Jag say makes perfect sense. You could tell she comes across as intelligent, talented, and then other she says you could just see is just starting up. Because there's no reason to start up with anybody if you're not willing to take the consequences. Right. If you're willing to take the consequences, then you shouldn't be speaking on anybody. Because when the consequences come, then don't, you know what I'm saying? And then people, well, I'll call the police, but that's not fair now. That's like, you're not playing fair. Like, you're starting the problem, somebody sees you in person, reacts, and you call the police on them over the shit that you started. That's not manly and it's not womanly. And there's too many people that do it. Charleston White does it. It's just not, you don't gotta antagonize to get your point across, and you ain't gotta, just to get your point across, start problems with people.
Well, I think people do it because that's what people want to see, almost, kind of. Like, what is that? What do you think that's about? Like the audience?
Yeah, but people want to see. But if we live by what people want to see, do you understand what type of life that would be? What about your own integrity and your own? Right. And then if you are for the culture, then you have to know that you're causing more damage than you are good. I mean, all this about, I'm a community activist and I've done this for the community. How can you be doing this and you're causing problems, disrespecting people on a daily basis? Black people who are in the struggle every day, all day. How does that help the culture? Right. Like, that's bozo shit to me.
Well, he says, that he's doing it. He's just putting on a character for the internet.
That's an excuse. Look, Charleston White, one half of Charleston White could be where Martin and Malcolm is. All right, well, maybe. But the other half is a bunch of con man weirdo shit. And to me, it comes across as a nigga that didn't get too much back in the day. That now you get a little bit of fame and fortune, you see how this shit getting it, so you're gonna do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you a comfortable nigga that always was good with the women, you don't do this dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, his mind, I'm sure he has done for the community, but it gets thrown away from me when you're starting trouble with guys, and then when they come to you, then you're telling on them. How the f is that helping these guys? How is that helping these guys' parents? How is that helping anything? You're just helping the system eat them up like everything else. I don't get it. And then, the problem is people like Charleston, everybody see people in the comments, oh, I love him. Nobody can make me hate him. He ate that up. Like, when you look, I want people to dig deeper at these type of people who are commenting like that and see who that type of person is, and like, you're happy because that like, they don't even got their shit together. Look at the people who are commenting and go in a little deeper and be like, this is the support you want from them. They're just saying that just to be a part of something. People know how people are crying out so much to be a part of something that they want to be a part of something in the comment section. They don't mind coming every day being a commenter because they're a part of the other commenters. what they say is not even the point. It's just the fact that they're a part of something. Charleston could do us a lot more good if he stopped with all that other extra. If you for the community, you doing the same thing that you talking about, you done became.
Now,
Since you can't rap, you everything else but not kicking. You want to be the entertainer.
now
Wearing the Confederate flags and all that. Like, there's no, and if you go for an excuse for that, I'm in character, then you're just as much of a bozo as he is at times. And I don't got no beef with him because I think he's a smart, intelligent man that can do good, but he's took a left turn. Again, his celebrity has gotten the best of him, where he's just saying and I'm sure he'll get on here and try to say something. I ain't got no problems with him. I got no problems with nobody. It's just this is my mature way of looking at it, that he could do our culture a lot better if he stops with all this bullshit, stop antagonizing these kids on here, stop snitching on them for sure. We don't do that. I don't know where the anybody thought it was cool. And all these people who agree with that only agree with it until it's happened to their mother, father, brother, sister, cousin. And then they mad. Or their girl, or their man, or their woman. Like, we live in a pick and choose society now. Like, the shit that Charleston does, man, like, he could do better. He has the ears now of everybody. Now switch it around and do better, bro. Do better, bro. Like, getting on the thing with girls and this and that. And like, come on, man. Like, you a grown man. Set the example of a Malcolm or a Martin. You don't got to be, I'm saying, like, all the way. But don't do the clown shit. And stop antagonizing and causing problems, because he starts a lot of this shit. He says shit about people thinking because it's a viral and because it's a news and he has his opinion, but that shit, the shit he says is disrespectful. And you know, I don't feel it.
I feel you. But in all fairness, a lot of individuals that Charleston go after you do their research, they don't really be good people. They don't really be solid individuals.
Why? Because Charleston said so?
No. No.
Well, name one. Give me one. Who do you go after that's not a good person?
Vaughn.
I'm saying, like,
so
hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. But let me go there. This is good. Vaughn is a young man that came up in a up situation like all these other young men. Have some empathy.
Right.
Like, yes, Vaughn got himself into like all these other young men, and he ended up like all these other young men. Have some empathy. If it happened to his son, would he be saying that? Would he be? If it happened to his nephew, would he be saying that? No. You can't say Vaughn was loved by his mother. Right. Vaughn was loved by God. Vaughn was loved by a lot of people. Vaughn did bad like we all do bad and make mistakes. Who the f is Charleston White to disrespect Vaughn after he dies? And who is he to say something about Vaughn? What makes Charleston better than Vaughn?
All I'm saying is, he ain't saying nothing that the old head on the corner wouldn't say that seen Vaughn get shot and killed. The old head would be like, I be telling these young niggas.
He don't know. The old head would know Vaughn. He don't. So you can't do that.
Yeah.
You see, the old head's gonna know Vaughn. We're gonna watch Vaun grow up, and Vaun develop a respect for the old head. He don't know him. It's disrespectful. And you wouldn't do it to his face. You wouldn't do it to him. All that, everybody going everybody's block and just jump. And no. You wouldn't be there. Because if you're coming with police, nigga, you ain't playing right. That's not how we do it. To me, he's the cancer. He's not uplifting anybody out here. Who the f is he uplifting? He on the internet every other day talking shit about somebody. Niggas got it bad enough already. But I get it. Clicks, comments, oh, he ate up, that's my man. If that's how you look at it, you're looking at it wrong. You're looking at it wrong. Vaughn ain't never done nothing to nobody personally, for anybody to hate him so much. When he was living there playing the music, I bet you in the club bouncing to his shit, watching the video. People gotta understand that, you know what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you got a platform, use your platform because these kids need help. Right. Don't use it to damage them. And I'm afraid that he's doing more damage to the community than he is good. That's just my opinion.
Well, you know, on this platform, we do fuck with Charleston White. He said that he just sits around and wait for people to come at him, and then he'll go at them.
Who the is he? See, it's again. He's put himself in a celebrity thing to where that he's making himself that he's relevant now because that's what he does. But his relevancy is only because he's disrespecting everybody. Right. Take away the disrespect. Does anybody know who he is? What has he accomplished in our what has Charleston White accomplished?
Well,
somebody tell me what has he accomplished in the hip-hop community?
He's turned over laws.
He's what?
Turned over laws.
No. We don't know what law this man has turned over. I need you to give me some proof. Just like niggas can show paperwork of snitches, I need to see some proof of what law Charleston White turned. Please. So while you find that out, let's figure out something else he done. In hip hop, Charleston White ain't done shit. He ain't had no hit record. He ain't put on no hit TV show. He ain't done nothing. All Charleston White does is come on the internet and talk shit about people who actually have accomplishments in this game. So again, if somebody could tell me what he did, then I'm all for it.
Now, one could argue, what has a drill rapper done for anybody?
No. I'm not saying a drill rapper because it's not just just drill rappers that Charleston White goes off. Charleston White goes after everybody he just don't like.
You know, he goes after rappers.
He just know he don't. He go after niggas' mamas. He go after like women. Everybody, bro. What do you? I don't. You know what I'm saying? It's and like.
So I guess it's a different character because you meet Charleston White in person. He's a totally different person.
No. I'm sure me and Charlie will get along in person because he'll be a man and I'm gonna be a man. And we was born around the same time. I'm not with the troll and dumb. I'm just not with that. It just ain't me. It ain't. I think it hurts people, bro. I think it hurts. Like, why get on the internet and start beef with everybody? Why? Is that's the way that? So get on. So let me ask y'all.
I feel like it makes a crazy check too, like that.
But all money ain't good money.
No, you facts. You ain't saying
I can
nothing.
get on here and say a bunch of shit and go get me a crazy check. Why would I want that type of check?
Right.
For what? And you already said niggas that already clocked him in the barbershop. I thought that was a, you know what I'm saying? I thought that was a thing, right? He already got, so that happened as a direct result from the internet. So does he want that to keep happening the rest of his life? Because are not gonna like some of the shit he said when they see him in person. That's just how it's gonna happen. It's just, people don't forget some of the horrible shit you say about dead people and people's mamas and, you know what I'm saying? When you know what I mean? I don't know. That's just me, man. It's just me, man. Like I try to show love and I try to show respect because I want it. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I mean? I got kids. Why would I put my kids in danger?
Thanks.
Why would I be on the internet? Why would I put my kids in danger? I mean, don't get me wrong, shit happens and sometimes, but he makes a living off of this. And I just don't think, the shit that happened at the comedy show when they just, like, who wants to live like that? I don't think any of y'all would want to live like that.
Oh, everybody's built different.
Right. What is so just you being in the streets, right? Like, what is some advice that you can give to some of these cats that are doing music, right? There are no gatekeepers now, right? So it's just kind of a free for all. Man. What advice would you give them? You know, for you being at the top of the game, you seeing the height of where music can go.
I don't, man. It's hard now. Music is such a different, man. Music is so confusing now, man, the way it is because of the streaming, because of the oversaturation, all the labels and what they're like. It's just a weird time for music right now. These young guys know what to do. You know what I'm saying? You got to get your hood to love you, the people around you loving you, and your block and people supporting you. When you get that local support, it could, you know what I'm saying, belly up and make a dope ass song. But it's hard to give advice now because it's all over the place. It really is. I can't even lie. It's just, make good music, stay consistent. You know what I'm saying? And put hours in your craft. Like, you ain't got to be 24 hours with it, but get a job. You know what I'm saying? And then the 8 hours work, and the other 8 hours do, with your music. And don't get nobody pregnant.
Man, before we get out of here, man, you had a crazy ass story about Scott Storch, and I just had.
So Scott Storch. Scott, good friend of mine, man. Produced. Scott, I remember one day, Scott had this, like he was Tony Montana. Scott used to really believe he was Tony, but it was weird. He would dress like him. His house on the island, I think it was Starz, he'd come in, he'd have the cigarette. You know, he had Dominican chicks everywhere. Yeah. So you go in, he got the all gold motorcycle. He don't know how to ride a bike, never mind a motorcycle. It's in the white pearl piano. It's just, you know what I'm saying? So you walk in, they got the things that you go up, you know, like the room to staircases, like Scarface. Comes in and glasses, he's wired. It's like, hey, come on in. There's a room over here with a pool table, a bunch of other rooms on the first floor. Go in this room, there's like big pile of coke here. Then there's another pile of coke here. It's like, and Worcester's like 9 piles everywhere on the pool table, on the side of the pool table, on the glass thing. So then we walk out the thing, and then we go over there. There's over there by the where you hang your coats at, big pile of coke there, like straws. Just, I mean, every where you want, man. He's like, you know, I said, no, I'm cool, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? It's broad daylight, you know what I'm saying? I'm all right now, you know what I'm saying? No, don't get me wrong. I done been through my wild boy antics. Like, I don't judge. I'm just saying, but Scott was really one of the only ones that really had that Scarface thing down, boy. Like, he thought he was Tony Montana to the key, like, for real. If Tony Montana could produce beats, he'd be Scott Storch.
but in his defense, Dominican's walking around with a pearl white grand piano.
Yeah,
you do gotta feel like
Dominican women. Yeah, he likes Spanish women.
And you could play it
too.
Everywhere.
Oh, he could. Oh, he would get on it, but he was with a cigarette all the time and just, you know what I'm saying, just glasses, and he had the coat on, and just his whole mannerisms was. When you walked in, all you heard was June, 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 June. That's all you heard. Like, so let me get the out of here. I'll see you later, Scott.
Man, are you working?
But you gotta give him his props. He's one of the dopest producers to ever do it, to this day.
Man, are you working on anything? You got anything coming up that the people need to know about?
Source Awards documentary coming.
What? Oh, that's cool.
The 95 Source Awards documentary. Me and myself, Man Robinson, have been working on it. We're working with the Horn brothers now. Been working on it for almost a year now. We got a bunch of amazing interviews of people that were actually there. We're still in the last part of the interview stage, going into the editing stage, but it'll be like a 3-part series, and I'm gonna be narrating it, and it's gonna be pretty, I got some real heavyweights. I wanna shout it, I don't wanna let anybody know, but I wanna shout everybody. But it was a lot of the people that were in 95, and we kinda highlight 94 too, because that's when Pac was there. Pac was locked up in 95, but a lot of stories that people didn't know, a lot of backstories that I didn't know that was going on, because it was such a tense night for hip hop. Like, people gotta understand, 95 is when hip hop just wasn't about New York or LA anymore. It was everywhere, you know what I mean? Like, Midwest was there, the South, that's when Andre said the South got something to say, and the South just, you know, like took over. Like, that night was a pivotal night in hip hop. So the night that changed hip hop forever, be on the lookout for that. It's gonna be, of course, coming up in 2025. And got a couple of reality show opportunities. I'm on every Wednesday, Celebrity Crime Files on TV1, Wednesday night, 10 o'clock. Been doing that. And man, just, you know, I'm planning on, I'm gonna release a fitness tape and program on my 60th birthday in next July. And, you know, just a program for guys 50 and over, how to stay fit, you know what I'm saying? And not just stay fit, but just how to give them tips on how to just be more of a ladies' man, and, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, for real.
The guys, you know what I'm saying? Some of these guys need a little bit of help, so, you know what I'm saying?
Man, you gotta come back, because I wanted to touch on that with you,
Gotta
man.
come back, come fuck with y'all. This was dope, man.
Man, how many chin-ups you think you can do?
I'm not good at chin-ups, but I benched 315 the other day.
Hey, turn it up.
I benched 315, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Yep, I finally got it. You know what I'm saying? So I only got it one time, but you know what I'm saying?
Man, that's all that matters.
Yeah, it takes a while.
It didn't kill you, so.
Yeah, I'm almost.
Yeah.
Almost, but I got that bitch, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It was good because I got it one time before. And then it was like, man, the thing about when you get older is if you stop even for a couple of months, you lose everything. So I can never stop going to the gym now if I want to keep my strength. when you're young, your muscles stay with you, but when you get older, so I'm proud of that. Like if I was staying the night here, I'd been right after this, I'd been going right to LA Fitness.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I love the gym.
Man, we just want to thank you so much for coming, man.
I want to thank y'all, man, for real. And Angel, me and Ashley are coming on that cruise in January with y'all. Trust me.
Man, that's going to be lit. Hey, man.
Yo, shout out to the Treats, man, too. The Treats. What's his name? Monty. Yeah.
Yeah, he going to love that.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, that made this possible.
Hold up, man. Fuck
Shout out to
Monty.
Dallas, man. I'm in the D, man.
Man, we just want to thank you for coming and sitting down with us. Can't wait to the next one, brother.
Are y'all Cowboy fans?
Yeah. I mean,
y'all want to talk about that? Y'all want to cut? Cut. Look at that. Look at that.
Hey, nigga,
y'all can see their faces.
Hey, nigga, they'll beat you. Hey, with that being said,
the Patriots might have a better record than y'all. Imagine that.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Man, they up the prize picks. Benzino.
Appreciate it, y'all.
You are a real life street star.
I earned it, baby.
Real life. If that shit ain't real life,
It ain't real life. Just say real life street star.